Welcome back, and welcome to our 5th episode of the Walking Dead universe role-playing game. Thank you very much for joining me. If this is your first time, welcome to me solo role-playing the Walking Dead universe role-playing game. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. There are 4 other episodes. This is episode 5 for you to watch. If you have subscribed, thank you very much indeed. It's very much appreciated. If at any point you do like what you see, do hit that thumb. It does help us. It helps everyone, the algorithms and everything. Helps it all out. And if you have any comments, please stick them in and I will reply to them. If it's comments about the rules, comments about how I play, comments about some ideas of possible what I could do next, do put them in. I read them all and I respond to them. So, what happened previously? So previously, everything kind of went a bit bad for Simon and Kai, our survivor Simon and his companion Kai. The world kind of got turned upside down. The haven that we were a part of fell apart. You couldn't say it was exactly Simon and Kai's fault, but it wasn't exactly not their fault either, and everything went a bit bad. So they loaded all the food that was left into the car that they had gone to get fuel for, at the cost of two potential survivors, and they went off to try and find something new. They bumped into a new faction that I have now created, the Norsemen, and so they have come in as one of our issues, a new faction. It's based off of the Mountain Man series of books by Keith C. Blackmore, and if you get the audible version, they're of course narrated by Mr. Bray. And so I based the Norsemen on a faction that's in those books. They are a largish group, 20 to 50 people. They're as a small head sort of group, collective, who governs them and makes the decisions about the group as a whole. They have a need for survivors. As we bumped into them, they had it was one of the rumours that we had, which was that we had a small house nearby, which we had thought there was a small family who were slightly under siege, and we were going to go and join them or try and rescue them or have additional people in being with them, and that's where we bumped into the Norsemen cult. Now we don't know where their base is. That's one of the things, we don't know where their base is, whereas we do know where the Crimson Brotherhood, haven't updated that, where the Crimson Brotherhood is, but we do not know where the haven for the Norsemen is yet. I have created it as part of the creating a faction from the book, from the rule book that Free League Publishing kindly sent me. I did ask for it, but they did send it. So they have a well-structured, so they need survivors for strength, so to boost their numbers. They also use them as slaves and for food. And I was thinking possibly because Damien and Nicholas went missing because we did the NPC role, maybe the Norsemen collected them. We'll see. So they're a well-structured society with rules. They have cars and gasoline. They don't have guns or lots of ammunition. So they treat survivors. So the issues are they treat survivors badly. They have sworn allegiance to each other and live by a code, so Norse code of conduct. Now, wherever their haven is, which we haven't found it, it's a series of buses surrounding a barn, which is the feasting hall. It has a capacity of 3 and a defense of 2. We don't know where this is yet though, and I created some issues which we may be able to then link to things if we bump into them, which is that they have constant walker problems. So if we find lots of walkers in an area, that might be where their house is, their haven is. They have a constant need for food, people, and there are constant fights in the group, which is what the noise that draws the walkers to them. Norsemen. So, what else did we have to do? I did experience for Simon, and we got to a total of 13 experience points. You can then use 10 experience points to go up a skill, or to learn a new talent, so I decided to take the talent Speed Freak, which is normally one of the outsider talents. It says you need to have won a race in a car, so what it gives you is +2 mobility when you drive. And how I equated that was last session, Simon basically winning the chase in escaping from the Norsemen who were chasing them down. We have so I need to erase our issues. So we have our first issue now within, for me and Kai, is the Norsemen know we exist. So we are a source of food that they know exists somewhere. Where we are staying at the moment, because what we did was we then ran from the Norsemen. You can see this in the last episode. We ran from the Norsemen, we hid in someone's garage, and then we hid in their house. Within the house, we found a large supply of rations in the basement. So we're going to need more food, and we're going to need people to join. And that is about it. So what we will now do is I will begin with what they call dearly departed monologue. Amy, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. I just wanted to knock you out. I wanted to knock you unconscious so as we could take your arm off because you got bit. And then we could say we'd saved you and you'd let us back into the haven and you'd forgive us. We didn't mean for Ronald to get killed. We didn't mean for Private Berman to get killed. And I didn't mean to hit you so hard. I don't do this. I don't fight. So when you, who can, came at me, I just swung the sledgehammer and it just hit you in the head. And your head made that noise and bent. I'm sorry I killed you, Amy. But at least look on the bright side. You're not going to turn into a walker. I snapped your neck clean. Sorry. So, for once, I'm actually going to run through the solo procedure. I enjoy doing those monologues. So we did, oh yeah, and one other thing before we go on, from last session, there is a thing that you're supposed to do as a DM at the end of every session with your group, which is to go through the potential of something that happened that would cause a fear response. So handle your fear, it's called. Hold on, I'll mark the page. So, handle your fear. When you play, bad things will happen and your PC risks being pushed beyond their limits. At the end of each session, the GM will go through a list of breaking points on the next page. If any of these things have happened to you during the session, you need to roll to handle your fear. So, we'll begin doing this probably at the beginning of the session because I won't remember by the end of the sessions. So, breaking points. If any of these things happen during the session, you need to handle your fear. An anchor gets killed? No. An anchor turns against you? No. You kill or brutally beat someone who can't defend themselves? Well, yes. We killed Amy. I know she could have defended herself, but we didn't mean to kill Amy. So I think that is yes. You're broken by damage? No. You have, at some point during the session, accumulated 5 stress points. I think I did. I can't remember, but I think we did during that run. The whole of that thing was incredibly stressful, and Simon would have definitely been reaching breaking point with the stress. Something you built or struggled hard to achieve, such as your haven, gets destroyed. Yes. Basically, everyone in the haven died, and we were left on our own. And we didn't know Nick and Damien weren't going to come back, so we stayed there for ages, and then we just had to run. So I think yes. So, how you handle your fear is you pick either your wits or your empathy. My empathy is 4, so I think Simon will pick empathy. You then roll that and you can get +2 if you've got an anchor still alive. Luckily Kai is still alive. And if you need to get a 6 to pass, or you become overwhelmed. So what we would say is that after a period of time, after we got to this new place, and it all sort of dawns on Simon what's happened, that's where, whenever the overwhelm would take place, we'd say is overwhelmed. So we have 4 for empathy and 2 for Kai still being alive. I need to get at least 1 hit, otherwise we will roll on the overwhelmed table and we'll see what happens. I got 3 hits. So even though it was an awful period of time, Simon has held himself together and hasn't lost his way and doesn't become overwhelmed by fear. So we will now start our solo procedure, and let's work out what we're going to do in this session. So the solo procedure goes like this. How much time elapsed since the last session? So what I thought we would have is that because we had 15 rations, we found here. I believe we took 10 with us, giving us 25. Then what we would say is if we're consuming 1 ration each a day, that would last about 2 weeks, and we are hiding from the Norsemen. So Kai and I have spent about 2 weeks keeping watch, reading books that we've found laying around here, trying not to leave this house, which is up. So we ended up here in, is it something, Box Hill? Is it Box Hill? Sackville. We're in a place called Sackville, apparently. There's a ferry there. It's a small place. There's a historical church nearby. Ebenezer. How about we'll be in Ebenezer? We ended up in a place called Ebenezer where there's apparently a historic church. We're in a small house with a garage. There's probably, I don't know, I'll find some pictures of this place and we'll see what it looks like. I don't know. Future me will know. Past, present me doesn't know. So we're in a place there in someone's garage. Then we went into the house and maybe we did a bit of scavenging into the few houses nearby, which were clean and we were able to survive. But it's 2 weeks later where we're running out of food and we're running out of water and we're going to have to move on. Roll for each clock on your challenge sheet and fill in the segment if you roll above the number of filled in segments. Okay, so we have the following clocks that are on. So we've got that army base, which might have equipment, which we do have equipment. We have equipment, we just don't have training. Oh, I should have took ranged combat instead of that, shouldn't I? Maybe next time I get 10, I'll say we've got ranged combat because I haven't got any ranged skills. So the army base equipment with swarm, that hasn't clicked on. The church down south, the chapel, which also has a swarm around it. 3, it's got to be, I said higher then, didn't I? Yes, so that doesn't because it's on 3 at the moment. Then we've got that useful item with the dangerous NPC, so the survivor who's further up north, who may have water or something else of use. Nope, that hasn't ticked on either because that was on 3. Then we have that mobile lab that we identified, that we heard a rumour about. The mobile lab, which is in the city, which might have a vaccine. That has ticked on because that was on 2, now it's on 3. We've also got the Crimson Brotherhood. Their clock stands at 4 at the moment, 6. So the Crimson Brotherhood may have seen some signs of us and are interested in taking what we've got. And then we've got the Norsemen who have been looking for us. They have been looking for us and their clock ticks on as well. So because clocks that tick on, we might need to do something about, where we've got the Crimson Brotherhood. So we might bump into the Crimson Brotherhood today. We might say we'll go scavenging and then we'll bump into some of the Crimson Brotherhood. And then we've got, well, that might eventuate into some form of combat. Now we do have ranged weapons. We both have an assault rifle because we've got Amy's assault rifle and we've got Private Burm's assault rifle, but neither Kai nor myself know how to use them. And the Norsemen might be trying to hunt us down. So that is that bit. Next, create a rumour if there are less than 6 active rumours on your challenge sheet. We have 4 active rumours on our challenge sheet, so we will create a rumour. Solo rumours, generate 3. So solo rumour, we roll a d6. We do it from here, actually. We do it on this, on here. So I'm going to just drop this onto my map and then I'll show you where it lands. Okay, so it landed, it's a 2, and it landed like weirdly here on that same sector where we discovered and we overcome the Norse cult. So it says a dangerous NPC or faction. Okay, so that's the Norse. Roll once or twice on the theme. Okay, then we'll roll theme and then roll again. So that was a 2, and again is a 4. A useful item. Okay, so we've got dangerous faction with a useful item. So where is our themes oracle? Our themes oracle works. We have a D6 for the theme column. There are 6 theme columns, and then we will have the number for the one that is. We'll roll 3, 41, 41. Sacrifice. Gosh. 5, 16. 5, 16. Faith. Okay. Okay. The Norse with the Viking. Well, if you haven't seen Vikings, the series, it's quite good. But one of the things that they would do yearly for festivals is they would sacrifice people, and the sacrifices needed to be willing, and they were done en masse. So maybe it's something to do with that, with faith and sacrifice. 55, table 4. Table 4, 55. Discipline. Okay. Let's do one more. 6, 63. 6, 63. Vigilance. Is that right? No. 63. Wisdom. Okay. So I think the Norse were in that area. The Norse were in the area to conduct. They were in the area to conduct one of their sacrifice rituals, and that ritual involves setting up a bit of a camp, and then they sacrifice some of the slaves they found, and in the process they create meat, but they drink and they party. So it does attract walkers, but there should be lots of supplies left behind. And so we found this out by a few days ago. Just a lone traveller came through, and we traded some of the cans that we had for some information, and that she had water that she'd been able to get from there, some bottles of water that she'd been able to get from there, but she wasn't able to get to where the food was, but she saw supplies of food, and she traded that information for some water and cans. And so we will put that down as our 5th rumour is supplies, walkers, Norse. And we will say that, I'm going to say that 3 of the clock ticks are already used up, because other people may have done it, and then it speeds it up, and then it means it will go away. So we've got that rumour down where the Norse is, so I'll just leave that. Actually, I'll do a new one which says supplies or food. There we go. So we've got the Norse coat, and there is some food here as well in that area where we were. So I think that's probably what we're going to do, is we're going to go there. We're going to go there because if there's definitely food there, we don't have to go clearing buildings. We just might need to evade some walkers to go and find some food there, because we're running short on food. We have no food left in our haven. We've gone through it all, so we're going to have to go for a run. Update your haven's projects. It's just me and Kai at the moment. We don't have enough people to do any projects. Decide on a challenge and activate it. If a clock was filled during your step 2, this is likely. If a faction clock, okay, so I think we filled the Norse faction clock. So we will count that as Norse. Run a scene where other NPCs interact with this challenge. Embark on a run or otherwise engage with the challenge. Return to your haven, assume yourself. So this is what we're going to do. So Kai and I are here. We have the car, but based on the fact that the rumour is over here, and we've now decided that it's been long enough, they should have gone from here. Maybe if we move down, we should be able to get there and grab enough food. Mind you, if we have the car, we can load it up, but we don't know how much is there. So at least if we go down, we may be able to grab some food and then hide what's there, and then come back for it. And then we need to try and work out something else. Like we need to join some people. If we can, maybe we can go and get some information from the library and trade it. We've got that vets there. We've got some advanced medical gear, so we do have medicine skills that we've got the haven here, but maybe we can try and collect some people. We might bump into someone down here and try and convince them to come up with us. So our goal is our run is to go to the sacrifice site for food, not human. So our process is we travel. Procedure for solo runs is very similar to what you described in the GM-led game. Look for the travel section of the page and come up with a description of the sector you are entering, and then make a roll to determine if there is an encounter. Okay. So going on a run. So first off, we can move by foot one sector in a day. So we'd be moving into the sector and then staying there overnight and then coming back again because we're going to go by foot. We could choose, I suppose we could take the car. If we go by car, we could go down and then come back again afterwards. So we'll take the car because then we can load the car. So we're going to take the car and we're going to drive down. So it says when we enter a new sector, we should make a scout roll, and that lets us know whether they hear us coming or not. So we might park a bit further away than moving on foot, and then we can bring the car if it's all safe. So first off, we're going to drive up and attempt not to let everyone know we're coming. So we will go, our scout is a 3, so we've clear ourselves of stress. We had 1 stress point at the end. So we'll clear ourselves of stress. So we would go 3 for our wits, 2 for scout. We do have a flashlight, but that's not going to help us, and we're going to be travelling in the day. So first off, we'll see how we've moved into the area, and then we'll roll for the area and we'll say weather and stuff. So this is us transport, where we're going to travel close, and then we're going to try parking a bit far away. We get 1 hit, and that's all we need. So we get to we enter this area, and we park up in a garage, and we hide the car, or we park the car next to a bunch of other crash cars to make it look crashed, and we sort of scattered some leaves and stuff over the top of it to make it look like it's been there for a while, and then we take a mental note of where it is so we don't forget where it is. So what does our area look like? So we will let's describe this as so let's see the weather. 6, it's windy. 5, so it's a sunny day but really windy, which means that it's going to be hard for us to hear things coming because the wind is clattering things around and stuff's moving about a lot. And so every now and then we stop and we're a bit scared because we think we've heard a walker, but it's not, it's just the wind blowing something down the street. So let's roll blacks. 44. Old school train station. Massive red brick complex. It's empty now, but a large settlement obviously once lived here. There's an uncanny number of barbecue pits, and the faint scent of cooked meat still lingers in the air. All right, we'll call that. So we get down to the area that these areas. This is really a 10 kilometre by 10 kilometre space in Sydney, because this game's set in Sydney. If you watched it before, you'd know that. But I've set the game in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, because that's where I live at the moment. I plan on moving somewhere else, but at the moment I live in Sydney. And so this is a 10 by 10 kilometre area in Sydney. Sydney uses kilometres, not miles. So we can definitely see that there's an area, and that area has been used for sacrifices. So we've come along loads of the little streets and we've found an area, and it's quite massive. There's particularly, I don't know if is there a train station in this? Could be. I've stuck so many stickers on this I can't really see. There's not many trains that travel around this area. Box Hill, that's where this is. Box Hill, Windsor. There's the A2. The A2 travels through there. Maybe they've used the A2 as a central point, and instead of being a train station, it's one of the service stations. So it's a service station off the A2. I'll see if there's a service station off the A2 near Box Hill, and that's where they've actually set up. So that's where this is, and we can smell cooked meat, but it's old. It's obviously they've been here a while, and there's walkers traveling around. Now we'll say that there are walkers, but we did hide. So 2 means there's plenty of them. 2 means there are walkers close by, but they are not aware of you yet. and whereas 3 is they are aware of you and they'll start shambling towards you. So at the moment we can see there's plenty of walkers in this area. There's plenty of them wandering around, but they aren't aware of us yet. They've obviously been drawn by the noise, and there's bodies all over the place, as one of the things the Norse love doing is proving how tough they are by taking on large numbers of walkers face to face. Read the books, very good. Or get the Audible. I haven't actually read the book, I just listened to the Audible story by R.C. Bray reading it to me. So, when a PC moves into a sector where there is no predetermined content, well there is, such as a faction haven, a location or swarm of walkers, roll an encounter table. So let's roll an encounter. Roll a double high if the sector is unknown. So it is known to us. If the PCs have recently visited the sector, roll a d6 instead. A 6 means that the PCs have an encounter. Okay, so we maybe we'll roll a double high because there's more likely that we'll have an encounter because we haven't moved in here recently. A 6 means that we are going to have an encounter. If the PC scout roll was before entering the sector was successful, it was. The PC spot the encounter first. If it was okay, so we spot this first. If you roll a 5 or okay, hold on. Roll on the encounter type table below to see what they meet. If you roll a 5 or a 6, roll on the faction counter table. What's 8? Oh, hold on. Encounter type. 5. Faction encounter. Roll on your faction encounter table. I haven't got a faction encounter table. Have I meant to? Was I supposed to make a faction encounter? Well, we've got 2 factions, and what we were saying is we would bump into the Crimson Brotherhood, didn't we? So, what we will say is that we witness some of these people. They're wearing, let's call them Crimson Brotherhood. They're a bit weird, and so we'll say they wear red. They wear red, and they're moving really stealth. They're dressed like ninjas in red. Ninjas in red. And they're moving around and they're trying to collect stuff. But there's not many in that faction, is there? That faction is quite small. They've only got 1 to 5 members, so maybe there's 2 of them. There's 2 of them moving around and they're collecting up food, and they're collecting up the food that we need at the moment. So I might roll on this encounter table. Random threat level, walkers approaching. Okay, let's roll in this here. Because they're moving really slowly. What have we got here? 52. What does 52 come out as? Oh, this is just a person. That's a person that you encounter. Okay, so we've encountered the Crimson Brotherhood. The Crimson Brotherhood are down there and they're collecting up food. They've moved into the area and they're collecting food down the bottom. We need this food because we're running out, and they're collecting food, and we can see that there are walkers milling around, but they're not really paid attention to anything. Now, we would have brought the rifles with us. We've got assault rifles with us, so we could try and engage them. They might have weapons. Do they have weapons? Let's say we will use the luck dice, so it's highly likely they would. So we want to take the highest number of these 2. 6 means extremely yes. Yes, they would. They also have long-range weapons, but we don't know that. Maybe we see them. We see that they're carrying weapons with them. So I don't know. Kai, I don't know what we should do. They're collecting everything. I mean, it's making it easy. It looks like they're loading it into a car. So if we wait, they could load the car, and we could ambush them and try and take the stuff and then just take it back. I mean, it's not ideal because we potentially are going to be escaping from walkers, and I've never shot one of these. But what do you think? Let's see. Let's just roll d6, see what she says. 4, I think 4, maybe yes. 4 is yes. So Kai says, oh, I'm hungry. Simon, I'm hungry. I think we're going to need to do this. I think we're going to have to attack them. I mean, who are they? Do you remember we heard about, I mean, they are dressed in all in red. Oh, they can't be those. That's ludicrous. Who dresses all in red like a ninja? I know, Kai, I know. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how the group works. It'd be interesting to talk to them. We could try and talk to them. How about I go and talk to them and you can shoot them? I don't know how to shoot them, Simon. I've never used one of these before. All right, so we could just engage them and try and take them out. So what has Simon got? There's always a chance, morally flexible. but he is curious about survivors. He would want to know who they are. Let's do a double low. Did Amy have a handgun? Could Simon walk up with a handgun? But oh no, Simon could walk up with the M16, just held it sort of at the ready, because they're not expecting him, and if they go for weapons, then Simon will shoot. All right, so what I'm going to do, Kai, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to try talking to them. I'll try and move swiftly through the walkers and not trigger anything. I'll do a scout roll. Or stealth roll. What have I got? I've got a stealth and I've got a scout. I'll do a stealth roll, stealthily down. And then I'll try and talk to them. I really want to know who they are and get some information about the group. I mean, how do they survive? What is they do? What sort of things are they doing? I'm just interested. Simon, this is going to be the death of us. Not just the death of you, the death of us, Simon. Kai, just don't shoot me. Just, you get close, don't shoot me, shoot them, and then we will see how we go. So, Simon is going to attempt to sneak down and get close and then talk to them for a bit. Because he's curious about people, he's morally flexible, and the intention is just to get some information about the group and then kill them. So he has an agility of 3 and a stealth of 2. So we need at least one hit to get close enough. So we'll call it short range, close enough to basically, from safety of behind the vehicles, engage in a quietish conversation. Otherwise, the walkers are going to know, and then standard hitting the fan. 2 hits, nice. Okay, so Simon sneaks down and says, "Hello," and they stop all of a sudden. Don't reach for any of your weapons. I can see them on your shoulders. Don't reach for them, because there's me and 4 of my friends, and we have you surrounded. I just want to ask you some questions, and once you've answered the questions, we will let you go alive. Do you understand? And they don't say anything. You need to speak to me, and I need to know you understand. Otherwise, I'm going to signal, and you're going to die. Now, let's say the walkers. If we roll a walker, then we're saying that the threat will go up, and then zombies. So we're going to attempt to use our manipulation to get out of them, because we state what we want. I think that's how it works with this. So it's always about, everything in this game is about stating intent, not just rolling dice. State the intent, state the story, state what's going to happen. So what we're going to attempt to do is we are going to attempt to psychologically manipulate these 2 into engaging us in conversation and telling us stuff about the group. So overall, we're going to have as long a conversation as we need to have, and we're going to try and get them to start telling us about the group, because there's a whole series of stuff that you and I know about the Crimson Brotherhood. Look back at first episode. But Simon and Kai don't know about the Crimson Brotherhood, and that's what we're going to try and get out of these 2. This information about who the Crimson Brotherhood is and what it is they do. So we have 4 for empathy, 2 for manipulation. So let's see what we get. We're attempting to get information from them. All right, so they're keeping their mouth shut. They're not really saying anything. They're not giving us anything at all. Now what we can do is we can try and push, which would gain 1 stress, and this is where we can start messing up. This is where Simon starts elevating his voice and he starts to push. So potentially you could just shoot him. So basically we are going to then try again, and we're going to try pushing it. We're going to try mentioning how we've got them banged for rights. If they don't say anything, we're going to kill them. And we don't care what happens next, because they've already loaded up the car. We will kill them and then we'll move on. Okay, so we rode a walker, so that elevates. So what happens is they are going to reach for their guns. We get no information about what happens. They're going to reach for their guns, and the walkers are going to start to pay attention to us and start to come in. I'm going to double check what a 3 is. We've got a threat. I labelled them. 3, the walkers are aware of you. All nearby walkers will start shambling towards you, and you must fight to get out alive. All PCs present take 1 stress point. So we automatically take 1 stress point. So I now have 2 stress. The Crimson Brotherhood are going to reach for their weapons, I'm going to shout fire, and Kai is going to shoot. We will do it that if either of us start rolling the walkers in this combat, I think this is how it works. I'll quickly check up, because what it's called, there's a duel and a brawl. This is basically a brawl. Okay, so we will use solo combat in the roll. We will say that they are trained, which means they have one difficulty that we need. We only need to get one difficulty to hit them because they're not highly trained. I don't think these are highly trained. Not in hand-to-hand, not in range combat. And let me just double check the whole having a brawl when there's the dead. All right, so what we'll do it as, we will do the brawl, and if we succeed in doing damage to them, they might get attacked, and we roll a walker, they get attacked by the zombies. If we fail, we get attacked by, and we roll a walker, we get attacked by, we get a zombie attack. If we push, we don't re-roll the walkers, so we'll still get a zombie attack. So in a brawl, you can do one of 6 things: take cover, do range combat, do close combat, move, do first aid, or other. So we are going to, so Kai and I are going to engage in range combat against them, and we will be doing, we will attempt to attack them. I'm going to give myself +1 because Kai is shooting as well. So I have nothing for range combat, so I have 3 +1 for Kai, and +2 stress dice because we've got the walkers are starting to move towards us, which means afterwards we're then going to have to leg it to get into the car and try and get out. So Kai and I open up, and they open up in response. We get no hits, so that goes down to you fail and get no successes. Only your opponent deals damage. So they shoot at us with an M16. What sort of damage does that do? Well, let's say they've got, I don't know, hunting rifles. So they had ranged weapons. Gear. They had ranged weapons. Rifle. Damage of 2. Oh, they get a bonus of 2. Oh, we got, so do we get a bonus? Assault rifle, bonus of +3. Oh, so we get +3 for the weapon, so assault rifle. I'm going to roll these 3 dice as well. Still nothing. So we take 2 damage. So how do we take, is that just me that takes damage, or can I offload some on? I guess not, I guess it is me. Okay, so I get shot, I take 2 damage, which puts me on battered. This is the first time we've dealt with me taking damage. Let's see what happens. Am I going to get killed? Oh no, I've got a special thing that I can ignore it. So if I become broken, I have unbreakable. Once per session, if broken, stop being broken, heal to not being broken, but if critical, take a critical. Damage. Okay, so I've been clipped. I pushed it as well, didn't I? All right. No, I didn't push it. So we will then engage. So I got hit. I shout, "I'm hit!" And Kai will start shooting again. We will then roll again. No one rolls a walker. No one rolled a walker, so everything's okay. Okay, we've got a walker and we've got 1 hit. You get at least 1 success, but fewer than required. You get the number of successes required, only you deal damage. So we got 1 hit, successfully hit, and they get attacked by a walker. So the walkers are on their side, so we're successful. So Kai shoots one of them. He takes a wound and goes down, and as he goes down, we see that some walkers go and attack him. I will roll on the walker table, and we'll see what that attack ends up being. So the walker attack table is 2D, this one, which is a 51. 51, it's just a small scratch, but within the, okay, so it starts to, he shoots it, oh, hold on, it says, but he takes 2 points of damage, so he gets devoured. There's one of them left who is shooting back. Kai and I are shooting at him. We are now outnumber them, but we will shoot again. Oh, bugger. I rolled a hit there as well. So that's 4, and then 1 for Kai, 3 for the assault rifle, 2 stress dice. I got overly excited. We got 1 hit, which is all we need. No walkers, so we shoot one of them. The walkers are still coming in, and he, because he's been injured, is going to attempt to get away. So we will then attempt to shoot at him as he runs away, because that's the way we are. And we will see what happens as we start to move in closer. So Kai is going to come in closer as her move, and I'm going to attempt to shoot. And we take him down. Now, we have got the threat level is 3. A swarm is starting to come in. We've got zombies starting to move in. They have a small car which is located near us, so we're both going to have to run down. So we need to make a maneuverability roll, which is 3 for agility, 2 for maneuverability, and I've got 2 stress dice to get us to come running down. So we would be running down 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. So we need to get at least 1 hit for both of us to get to the car, avoiding walkers. No, so we don't. So we'll push it because we don't want to get caught, which means we now reached 3 stress. So we need to get to that car, otherwise we're going to have to turn around and say something like the car is unreachable and we're going to have to get out of here another way. We got 1 hit on the stress dice as well. So we get to the car. Kai has had to dodge a couple of walkers, so have I. They're starting to come around. They're on the bodies of the 2 Crimson Brotherhood. They're starting to rip their red ninja uniforms off. There's oh, how many? We've got 6 of them are tearing apart one of the bodies, and we can just see the blood starting to form on the ground as because they were near the car. As we get into the car and start to attempt to get the car out, we're now going to need to do a mobility roll, but a driving mobility roll, which gives us 3, 2 for mobility, 3 stress dice, and I get a +2 because of my speed freak driving to mobility to driving. This is to try and get this car out of this area and close to where we put the other car, so as we can either transfer stuff or just work out what we're going to do next and avoid the walkers who are now starting to really collect up around the area. We've got 2 successes, so we definitely get through, but we've got 1 walker attack. Now when we roll a mess up, we will now use the messing up table, which is so we successfully get the car out, but something happens. 41, an NPC is offended or you are distressed or afraid, so 1. So we now reach 4 stress as we basically hit a group of them and we have to start pushing the car through. 20, 30 odd walkers are starting to come through this street towards all the noise and the gunshots, and we're having to push the car through as they're battering against, and we're starting to see this black slime streak across the windscreen and across the window, and fingers are starting to push through the open windscreen, open side windows that we didn't notice were open. So we're trying to wind those up as we're pushing through, and that's just terrifying us as we're slowly trying to push this car through. There isn't a very powerful car in the first place, and he's loaded up with food behind, so we're slowly starting to try and push it through these walkers. And now we're getting, because we've got those 2 hits, we're able to push through those and continue out. We managed to get back to our car. Let's see, so there's still be a lot of walkers around this area. So what we're going to attempt to do is transfer what there is in this car, which would be food and water based, across into our car to then get out of here, or move our stuff, like what supplies we brought into this car. So that would be, wouldn't be mobility, would it? Let's say scout or stealth. So scout or stealth will give us the same anyway. So 3, 2, and now we're on 4 stress dice. And we're going to get 1 extra dice because Kai is helping us move stuff over. We need at least 1 hit to transfer everything over. And if there's a walker, then a stray walker is going to attack us. So we've got at least 1 hit, so we transfer stuff over. And we've got at least 1 walker, so we will get a walker attack is going to come in and attack us. So how we do this, how we do this properly, is we need to make a dice roll. If we get 1 hit, we're fine. We deal with the small walker attack. If we fail it, then we roll on the walker attack table. So, as we're loading stuff in, Kai and I are taking it in turns to do defense. So we will use close combat. I'll switch to my sledgehammer, as I'm good with that. And my sledgehammer, I think, do I get plus using the sledgehammer that I failed to do last time? No, I get a 0 bonus for using the sledgehammer. I get no extra dice for using the sledgehammer, but I will cleave the heck out of anyone. But I do have 4 stress dice. So we are gonna, I'm attempting to defend. Some walkers come up. I attempt to dispatch the walkers. Oh, that was a 4. So I get an attack. So I do dispatch the walk, the stress die. I dispatch. Hold on. Let's see what happens. Okay. So what we're going to say is we successfully deal with them, but because we rolled a walker, another patch of walkers start coming up. So another group of walkers come up, which means that we're going to have to deal with those. So the first 2 walkers come up and we smash one across the head and we batter one of the legs and we kill him. And as that's happening, Kai's still loading up the car and another bunch of walkers come up, which gives us our 3 for strength, 1 for close combat, 4 for stress. This we successfully decapitate these, and because we're using the sledgehammer and we're quiet, we're breathing heavily as 3 walkers come up and we begin to smash those, pushing them back, cleaving over heads, pushing one back, cleaving over heads, and we're knackered by the end of this point, but at least with this done and the car is finished being loaded up. So Kai will signal and we'll jump back into the car and we'll head back to our haven up here to what we call safety. So this food, we're going to say that rumour is now being gone, because we have resolved that we have found what food there was and we have collected up some supplies. So we will have enough supplies to tide us over for a bit, and we will return back to the haven, and that I think is where we end our solo. So we haven't found any new people, but we have kept ourselves going for a little bit longer. Return to your haven, earn experience points to take some well-deserved rest. So I don't think, so though we did attack people, they were defending themselves. So I don't think we need to face our fear. We'll do experience points and we'll spend those experience points. I don't think I'd have earned, because I have 3 left over, I don't think I'm going to earn enough. Oh, you get a D6. You get a D6 for the dialogue. I only gave myself a 1. So I will get whatever this is -1. So I got 5 points extra, which gives me 8. So Simon has 8 points, experience points. So for the dearly departed, you get a D6. Is it a D6 or double low? Double low. So 2, so I get 1 additional point. So I've got 4 experience points. You need 10, which if I'm able to get 10, which I might get for the next one, then we'll get 1 point in range combat and we'll be able to use these assault rifles. Okay, so we have food to tide us over. So next we're going to have to try and find some people, because we're going to need people to help us build up and survive, particularly as we've got various different factions that are starting to really know that we exist. The Crimson Brotherhood will probably come out this way again, looking to see where their people have gone, and we need to try and be ready for that. And so we will end the session there, and we will come back next week and see if Simon and Kai can survive another day in the desolate, destroyed world of the Walking Dead universe, where the dead aren't the threat, it's the living that's the problem. And thank you very much for joining me. Again, as I said at the beginning, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you have subscribed, thank you so much. It's so appreciated. I really do appreciate your support. I really do appreciate you watching. If you liked what you saw, please give us the old thumbs up. If you have any comments or any feedback you'd like to give, please do so. I'd love to read it. And I will see you next time. See ya.